All right, I'm going to go over the protein synthesis worksheet, that bright orange paper that we got in class. If you weren't here, hopefully you'll be able to understand and follow along. You do need to know how to use the chart that's on here. This is the paper. It's bright orange. But you need to learn how to use this chart, okay? You're going to have to use this chart to figure out which amino acids code for which DNA or messenger RNA codons. It's very easy once you know how to do it. There's just a few things you have to be careful about, and I'll go over that. So again, this is the worksheet. It talks about how there are 64 possible codons. Codons are the groups of 3 bases. Now in RNA, remember, RNA has A's, U's, C's, and G's. So instead of T's, RNA does not have thymine, they have uracil. So you'll notice on the chart, there's no T's on the codons. A codon is a group of 3. They're triplets. Group of 3 amino acid bases. Now, if you only have 4 bases, A, U, C, and G, and you put them in groups of 3, there's 64 possible ways to arrange them and not repeat. Now, there are only 20 amino acids that make up our proteins that we make. So a lot of amino acids have more than one codon that code for it. So it tells you, for example, GUU, GUC, GUA, and GUG all specify the amino acid valine. One codon is responsible for starting the translation. If you look on the chart, start is AUG. Look at that. And then there are several stops, like AUU, AUG is a stop. Here's a stop. UGA is a stop. So that tells the proteins when to start and stop the amino acid chain. So usually you're going to be given some DNA code. We do the leading strand. So this is one side of DNA. And you have to transcribe it into messenger RNA. That's where you write, like G always pairs with C, just like in DNA. So you'd have C, C, G, G. When you see a T, you still put an A with it. It's just when you see an A, we do not write T's, we're going to write a U. So that's how you do that. So again, if you look at this, when you type it out, I'm going to kind of transcribe here. I rewrote it here. This is the same code as the worksheet. That's what you get. Okay, so C, C, G, G. So you'll notice, again, T goes with A goes with U this time. But everything else is the same. But every time there's an A, you're going to have U's. So this is the messenger RNA code that would form along this side of DNA, along this gene, this section of DNA. Now, at the beginning of the messenger RNA is not always the very beginning of the codons. Sometimes there's some junk in the front, and sometimes there's some junk at the end. You have to find the start codon first. And again, if you look at this, if I go back, the start is AUG. So when you're going down, right here, you look from left to right until you find the very first AUG. I like to circle it or box it in so I know that start. Everything in front's garbage. Then what I do is I like to go through there and circle the groups of 3. These are the codons, the triplets. Now, if you accidentally get off one, you got a mutation. You've messed up. It's a mutation. You're making the wrong protein now. So you have to make sure you don't skip any and you get the 3s together. So you kind of circle until you have no more groups of 3s. Then what you're going to do, again, this tells the amino acids when to start. So you go with the next one after, UAC, and you're going to look, sorry, it's going, UAC. So notice all the tops are all start with U. Then you have all the C's going across, all the A's, and all the G's. All right, so again, it's set up where all the U as a second letters down the S, all the C as a second letter, all the A, second letter, G. We're looking for UAC. That is tyrosine. So notice the little bracket goes with tyrosine. So what you're going to do is for this one, you're going to write on the number 2, tyrosine. Then we need to look up CGG. So you go CGG, arginine. If you make a mistake and think, oh, CCG, you're getting a totally different amino acid. So make sure CGG, arginine. Here's one. So then you go back, and I like to put a little plus sign. So tyrosine plus arginine. So tyrosine's first, then arginine. Then you're going to look up the U. Look up the UU, phenylalanine, or phenylalanine, however you want to pronounce it. So again, you write that. Now see if you can figure out the others until you get to a stop code. I'm going to give you a helpful hint. UAA, it's stop. You look up UAA, stop. Okay. So see if you can figure out the rest. And if you want to, you can pause the video because I'm about to tell you the rest. All right, so we're at the CCA, that's proline, GUG, valine, and then the AAU, asparagine. So this would be, all these amino acids in this order make a specific protein. Now, most proteins, again, can be hundreds and thousands of amino acids long, and you can repeat them. We could have had tyrosine, arginine, tyrosine, phenylalanine, proline, valine. So they repeat because, again, there's only 20 of them, and if some proteins are thousands of amino acids long, of course you're going to repeat. If you want to practice, here's another code. If you want to jot it down real quick and practice it, you can kind of see if you can do it on your own. I'm not going to tell you the answers yet. I'm going to see if you can figure it out. And then we can always check it at a later date. So there you go.